Hello and welcome. I'm Vincent Makori. This is Africa 54. The question in Nigeria tonight is, what really happened in Baga? Was it a battle or a massacre? Even credible sources disagree. Baga is a remote fishing village on the shores of Lake Chad in northern Nigeria. The government has accused residents here of harboring Boko Haram militants. These satellite images compare Baga before the April 16th raid and after. They were released by Human Rights Watch. The group says analysis of the pictures shows nearly 2,300 homes were burnt down, even though the military said only 30 homes were damaged. The red dots indicate fires and other destruction. Human Rights Watch says it is concerned the Nigerian military is trying to cover up human rights abuses. The government is not commenting on the group's report. The raid on Baga followed an attack by Boko Haram militants on government soldiers. In the volatile Delta region of Nigeria, officials are expressing hope that peace will take hold despite an attack on police and emailed threats from a militant group. In a recent interview, Kingsley Kuku, special advisor to President of Nigeria on the Niger Delta, told me many former militant leaders are now accepting money from the government and are unlikely to revert back to kidnappings and attacks on oil pipelines.
Doing in tandem with our mandate is to ensure that the once very volatile and violent environment arising from the restiveness and agitation of the Niger Delta youths and women, because of the proclamation of amnesty and the way we have been able to implement this program, peace has returned tremendously to the environment. Now we have about 95% of relative peace in the region. It can't be perfect.
Within the framework of attaining peace and providing, the amnesty that was announced by the president, how are you addressing the issues that in the first place led to these grievances?
The mandate of the presidential amnesty program is not about developing the Niger Delta in terms of infrastructural development. It is not also our responsibility to remediate the environment, but we will need to advise on all these ills that have been visited on the Niger Delta people for over 50 years. Of 80% practically of Nigeria's public earnings come from the Niger Delta. Of course, it is correct, like you stated, that there is high rate of unemployment, there is severe underdevelopment and poverty in the environment. The environment is gone. The people have lost their ways of life in terms of livelihood. They no longer fish or farm in the Niger Delta. There is acute exploration and exploitation activities by the multinationals without any practical steps in remediating the environment.
What the young people I speak to of Niger Delta tell me is that they have a problem with the government and its relationship with the oil companies, that the government sometimes behaves like it's beholden to the oil companies. Oil companies seem to be getting away with things. That is why they've been accused of so many things, including deaths of Nigerians. Who is more important, the Nigerians who own this area, who come from that area, or the oil companies because they bring in so much money?
Well, these are environmental and human rights issues. They are issues of environmental and land justice to the Niger Delta people and to the country. I am a Niger Delta man. I know that beyond serving government, I'm going back home and will come out as a Niger Delta man anytime, any day. So this is a very vital part of the discussion we are holding. True to kind, governments before President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, mostly the military era, it has been a heck of time for the Niger Delta people. Oil multinationals did get away with so many things, to the extent that today is on record internationally that Ken Saro-Wiwa got killed because of environmental peaceful rights conflict between the Ogoni people and SPDC, Shell Development Petroleum Company.
So as you advise the president, have you recommended that they go back to the drawing table and kind of revise some of those contracts with the oil companies? Because what has come out of some of this is that the government of Nigeria has, over the years, not really engaged like really knowledgeable and powerful attorneys who would negotiate something that is really fair to the country, to the people. But these oil companies, they engage some of the most powerful law firms and kind of negotiate something that really favors them over the years.
We do know in Nigeria, oil control and management is based in terms of exploration and exploitation with a JVC between government and the oil companies. And I think in most cases it's used to be 60 and 40%. That is what operates. And it is within the ambit of that cover that most multinationals do operate and do take excuses in relating with the oil communities, the host communities, in terms of social corporate responsibility. They've really not been responsible enough. And here, as managers of the amnesty program that has ensured peace and stability in the region, it is expected that even the multinationals can now take a cue by taking advantage of the peace we have now, by becoming very responsible. And to the Nigerian government, the PIB before the National Assembly, our Congress, must do whatever they can to pass it for the communities to begin to have a sense of feeling that, yes, we are beginning to own in part what God has given to us on our land. These are the key points that are involved in the management and control of resources in our environment.
Was Kingsley Kuku, Special Advisor to the President of Nigeria on the Niger Delta.